Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the MLB slate on DraftKings for Monday, July 30th. We have a 9-game slate tonight, and before we do get started looking at this slate, make sure you guys drop a like on the video. It really helps me out, and I definitely do appreciate it. And if you are new to the channel and you have not subscribed yet, make sure you click that subscribe button down below, so that way you will not miss out on any of my new videos. So we'll start off at pitcher and look at our options over 10K. We do have two of them on this 9-game slate. We have Gerrit Cole, who's going to be facing the Mariners, and Kenta Maeda will be pitching against the Brewers. I don't have interest in either guy today, especially at their price tags. Gerrit Cole against Seattle, that matchup really isn't a matchup I want to target, especially with Cole's price of $12,800. Gerrit Cole's been solid this year. He's been consistent, especially as of late, but he really hasn't been performing like the Gerrit Cole that we saw at the beginning of the year that was constantly getting double-digit strikeouts. Seemed like 30 DraftKings points every night was something for Gerrit Cole. That hasn't been the case lately. In this matchup with the Mariners, I really don't see Gerrit Cole performing to where I have to have him to win. When he faced the Mariners earlier this year, he only put up 25 DK points, 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 5 Ks. There aren't a lot of strikeouts in this Mariners lineup. It's a good lineup in general. Gerrit Cole, I just feel like a guy that I can fade today. Same with Maeda. Maeda is just never a guy I feel like I have to have. And Maeda, you really never know what you're going to get from him in general. So I'm not going to be on either of the top two stud options. James Paxton faces the Astros, and I don't think I want to go there. Aaron Nola, good pitcher, but has a tough matchup against the Red Sox. Not really a guy I'm interested in. But David Price is a guy that I do have interest in today. He's 8,600, gets a matchup at home against the Phillies. I do like David Price here as a possible SP1 if you're trying to fade some of the top arms. This is a good strikeout matchup. The Phillies do strike out a lot, especially versus lefties. A lot of their switch hitters in their lineup are not as good against lefties, like Cesar Hernandez. He's better against righties. Carlos Santana has some power versus lefties. He really can hit both sides of the plate well. But I would say he is better from his left side. Asdrubal Cabrera is better against righties. He's better from his left side. So it is a good spot for David Price. Rhys Hoskins, obviously, he's great versus lefties. Abdul is not as good versus lefties. Franco's pretty solid versus lefties. Kingery, not really that good of a hitter. Alfaro's not that good of a hitter. And Quinn, don't even know who that is, but doubt he's that good either. Definitely some case here with like Kingery, Quinn, Alfaro. Even a guy like Herrera has an increased K rate versus lefties. Caesar has an increased K rate versus lefties. I really like David Price here. With just the few options we have, there's not really a ton of options I love on the slate. So David Price is kind of a guy that I feel like can get me value, can get me 20, 25 DK points, and definitely pay off that $8,600 price tag. He has been somewhat consistent this year. And then my SP2, I think, is the clear play today. Honestly, if I was playing like on FanDuel, I haven't looked at their prices, but if I was playing FanDuel today and Robbie Ray was reasonably priced, I would just play Robbie Ray as my SP1, especially like him on DraftKings at 8K versus the Rangers. Robbie Ray just has a great matchup today. The Rangers strike out a lot versus lefties. Robbie Ray's going to be pitching at home in the National League, so the Rangers are going to lose their DH. They're going to have to put Martin Perez in the lineup. The Rangers only have a 3.5 implied run total today. Robbie Ray a minus 208 favorite, so definitely likely he's able to get a win here. Really like Robbie Ray. Think he has a ton of upside in this matchup. Could easily see him getting possibly 30 DraftKings points against this Rangers team that does strike out a lot. So if you are looking for an SP2, or if you want to play Robbie Ray as your SP1, you could definitely do that. I think he is a great play today at 8K. Then the other pitchers that we could possibly consider on this slate, Carmart was a guy I was going to have some interest in, but at 7,900, coming off the DL, he did miss his last start because he was injured. With Robbie Ray and Price so similarly, like in his price range, I'd rather play Robbie Ray over Carmart. I'd rather just get up to David Price over Carmart. Honestly, I think if I was going to play like in that 7K range, play a pitcher in that 7K range, honestly, I think I'd go to Derek Holland. Derek Holland's not a good pitcher, but he faces the Padres in Petco, and he's only 7,600. The Padres are not good. They strike out a lot. Derek Holland definitely could be an SP2 play. Julio Teheran's really struggled against the Marlins this year, but Teheran is cheap at 7,300. The Marlins are not that good of a team. We all know this. They're not a heavy strikeout team, but they're not a good offensive team. So if you want to play Teheran, I feel like a lot of people are going to be on him. I could see going that route at 7,300 if you're looking to go that cheap. And then really, that's it for the value. Like, I doubt I'll play Edwin Jackson against the Blue Jays, even though the Blue Jays have a low total today. Doubt I'm on Marco Estrada. I don't see myself playing him. Maybe Eric Lauer just because he's 4,200 and that's insanely cheap. If you wanted to pay up for Cole and go Cole and Eric Lauer, you could still fit in expensive bats that way. But Lauer's not really a guy I'm going to be very heavy on today. I just really like that 8K pairing of Price and Ray, I think. With how much that leaves you on the table, 41, nearly 4,200 remaining per player. That's kind of the combo I'm going to look to today. So yeah, we'll go ahead and talk about bats. We've got a lot of salary to pay for bats. So we are going to start off at first base, where I'm looking to pay up here for Paul Goldschmidt, who is a great play today versus a lefty, Martin Perez, a bad lefty at that. I love Paul Goldschmidt here. We know this guy mashes left-handed pitching. Perez is not a good left-handed pitcher. Wish this game was in Texas because Texas' ballpark is much more favorable for hitters than Chase Field is, especially with Chase Field getting the humidor. But it really doesn't matter. Goldschmidt can hit home runs no matter what ballpark he's in, especially versus lefties. So I love him here. He's 4,700, which honestly feels like it's a little bit too cheap for this matchup. I was expecting him to be at least 5K today. So kind of getting some cheap value on Paul Goldschmidt at 4,700, a little bit too underpriced in my opinion. And then my final two plays, both going to come from the outfield. Going to look to pay up at both spots here. Starting off with Chris Davis. I love Chris Davis here versus Marco Estrada. We know Marco Estrada struggles with home runs, struggles with fly balls. And that's what Chris Davis pretty much hits. He hits home runs. He hits balls in the air. I think it's very likely that Chris Davis is able to hit a home run today. So I have a lot of interest in him at 8K. Wish this game was being played in the Rogers Center in Oakland. In that ballpark's not a very good ballpark for hitters, but Chris Davis, this dude just has so much power. Kind of the same thing goes with Goldschmidt. It really doesn't matter what park he's in. He can hit home runs no matter what the ballpark is. And versus a fly ball pitcher, a pitcher that will give up home runs, I think Chris Davis at 5K is definitely worth this price tag, especially since I do have the salary to pay up for some hitters. Then my final play, a little bit cheaper than Chris Davis. Really love Ronald Acuna Jr. here. 4,700 versus Wei-Yin Chen. Love some of these righties from the Braves, especially guys that are cheap in that lineup like Tyler Flowers. Definitely my favorite catching option on this slate. Johan Camargo at 4,100, I think, is a guy that you can go to that's going to be definitely a contrarian option. Not many people are going to be on him, but he has hit left-handed pitching well. Hit left-handed pitching well this year. Mainly the top of that lineup with Ronald Acuna leading off versus a bad lefty, a lefty that gives up power to righties, that struggles outside of Marlins Park. He's going to have to pitch in Atlanta today in SunTrust, where that is a ballpark that does favor hitters. Really like Acuna today. Love the Brave stack, especially the righties. Albies, Acuna, Flowers, Camargo. I think that 1, 2, 5, 6 stack, a little mini stack you can do. Even if you want like a low-owned shortstop play, you could consider Dansby Swanson down there at 3,800, batting 8. But the top of that lineup's where I'm really focused, especially with Acuna at 4,700 versus a bad lefty. But yeah, guys, these are my 5 plays for today. David Price, Robbie Ray, Paul Goldschmidt, Chris Davis, and Ronald Acuna Jr. Now talking about some stacks and BVP plays on this slate before we do get out of here. So my top stack on this slate, I would say it's probably the Diamondbacks with a 5.1 implied run total versus Martin Perez. I just really have a lot of interest in them, especially the righties. Like, once you get past David Peralta, I doubt I'll play him. But Marte, Goldschmidt, Pollock, Souza, Ahmed, Owings, even John Ryan Murphy, I think are all in play today. Martin Perez just is not a good pitcher. He struggles to righties. The Diamondbacks have a lot of good right-handed hitters in their lineup. So I have a lot of interest in the D-backs, a lot of interest in the righties from the Braves, Acuna, Albies, Flowers, Camargo, Swanson. Kind of the guys I like there. Then if you want to consider the Athletics, especially the guys that can hit home runs like Chapman, Davis, Olsen, I think those guys are definitely in play versus Estrada, who is a fly ball pitcher and a pitcher that will give up home runs. But yeah, I think that's it for stacks, the stacks that I really like today. So now moving on to BVP, looking at some of the BVP plays. We'll cover the ones with about a 20 at-bat sample. If you do want to look at all of them, you can pause the video right here. But I'll cover the ones with a 20 at-bat sample. So starting off with some of these Phillies, Carlos Santana gone 10 for 31 versus David Price. Asdrubal Cabrera 7 for 20 versus David Price. Derek Dietrich 8 for 27 with 2 home runs versus Julio Teheran. And Justin Bour 7 for 17 with a home run versus Teheran. Melky Cabrera 16 for 46 with 2 home runs versus Ervin Santana. Edwin Encarnacion 9 for 33 with 3 home runs versus Ervin Santana. Yonder Alonso 6 for 16 versus Ervin Santana. And Jose Ramirez has also hit Santana well, 11 for 24. A couple of these Rockies have hit Carmart well. Charlie Blackmon, 9 for 17 with a home run. Arenado, 6 for 15 with a home run. Curtis Granderson, 5 for 16 with a home run versus Edwin Jackson. George Springer gone 8 for 27 with 3 home runs versus James Paxton. Eric Hosmer, 8 for 19 with a home run versus Derek Holland. And then lastly, D. Gordon, 8 for 19 versus Gerrit Cole. And Denard Span, 3 for 11 with a home run versus Gerrit Cole. But yeah, that's it for BVP, guys. That's it for stacks, and I think that is it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully it did help you. If you enjoyed the video, just make sure you click that like button before you get out of here. I would definitely appreciate it. And if you are new to the channel and you have not subscribed yet, make sure you click that subscribe button down below, so that way you won't miss out on any of my new uploads. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And good luck tonight on this 9-game slate. Peace.